What is going on, YouTube? I'm Lamont at large. Today we're at Anthony Cemetery here in Beaumont, Texas. The main reason why I'm out here is because I seen this cemetery on a local television news station here in the area where they were doing a story about the conditions at the cemetery. They did a story about a family who had a loved one buried here, and they didn't like the conditions of her grave, the ground where she was at, and also talking about the cemetery. So I was just curious to come check this place out, and while we're here, we'll just kind of survey the area, talk a little about the graves here at this location. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. The first thing that I can tell you that I've noticed about this place is that, of course, this grass, this landscaping is not taken care of very well. There are a lot of weeds in the cemetery. There's a lot of fallen trees, like that one right there. There's a lot, not a lot, but there's some topsy-turvy graves. Now, this cemetery right here is owned by one man, I believe. So the story was that a family member of someone who was buried at the cemetery didn't like the fact that after she was buried, the ground kind of looked like it was just sunken in. And that was pretty much just the dirt settling in. So they called the news company. They came out here to interview them. And then while they were out here, the owner happened to come and proceeded to put the dirt to level out the ground. So that could be contributed to them just complaining, because maybe they didn't know that the ground settles, so they'll come back later. But me just coming out here, first of all, this is very dangerous. This tree is, any moment now, is going to come down. Hopefully no kids will come over here, start playing, climbing on the tree, jumping on it, because someone's really going to get hurt. So that owner of the cemetery, he should address this situation. And I know that it could be quite expensive. However, you could tie a rope to that tree to a truck and just kind of push it, just tow it down, where at least where it falls on the ground, it ain't gonna hurt nobody. So anyways, like I said, this cemetery, the landscaping is pretty bad. It looks like someone only probably comes out here maybe once a week. This is probably one of those cemeteries where they just have one landscaper, and he just, he's paid for a certain amount of days. For instance, this guy might, you hear that? They call that a weepy willow, I think. That heard that. That means that tree is about to come down. One good gust of wind, that tree is going to come down, and I think it's that branch right there. So yeah, I am going to stay away from that. Oh, right there, see? Yeah, that came from right there. So that's going to come down on sometime very, very soon. You got a lot of weeds in this cemetery. It's not a very big cemetery. I'm guessing there's less than 1,000 graves here. And some of the people here that are buried, they don't have markers. So I'm assuming it's because, more than likely they don't have a lot of money to spend on one. But it could be just one of those cemeteries where, the burials are cheap, but then oftentimes you get what you pay for. You can see in this crypt right here, you can see the coffin very easily right there. I'm not going to stick my camera in there, but yeah, this is broken. That could be repaired, easily repaired, if you just kind of get a little border around there. And the coffin is smashed. But of course, cemeteries, normally, actually mostly all the time, you are responsible for your quote unquote property. So it would be up to whoever that is, the Holmes family right there, to fix that. And sometimes people, they just don't come by to visit their loved ones. So as sad as it is, you could probably just pay somebody like $100. They'll come out here, they can fix that in a few hours. This is the grave of Arturo Borrego, July 31st, 1993 to November 11th, 2006. This kid was only 13 years old when he was shot and killed. So on that date, Arturo here with a bunch of his friends, they went to this other kid's house somewhere in the neighborhood about a fight. They're saying that it was gang related. And they went to the house of Manuel Garcia, and they were looking for his teenage son. And supposedly some of these kids had some kind of weapons on them, knives, baseball bats, whatever. They really wanted to beat up that kid. And his father wasn't having none of that. And pull out a gun, and I don't know if they started attacking him or whatever, but he shot and killed this kid right here, Arturo, and his friend, 16-year-old Victor Garcia. And a grand jury declined to indict the man. I guess it was self-defense. And that tells me that the police had some pretty good paperwork on these kids in the neighborhood. Maybe they were running in gangs and all that stuff. Who knows? And right next to him is this kid right here. This is Juan Borrego. I'm assuming they're brothers. It's similar cross, similar colors. And he was killed on September 25th, 2021. He was only 25 years of age. And looks like he was killed by a 14-year-old kid by the name of Omar Lara. So he's 14 years old. I don't know if they're charging him as an adult. But on that day, somebody had called the police because there was a car on the street and there was blood all over it. So they call the police come, they run the tags, and it comes up to this guy's name, but this guy's nowhere to be found. So the detectives started investigating, and somebody said, yeah, he was shot by a guy named Omar, that he's claiming that he did it. So they go to Omar's house and take him down to the station, and he readily admits that he shot and killed this guy. But where's this dude's body? We don't know. Well, later on, they ended up finding him. I guess when he was shot, he tried to run for help, or maybe he probably was trying to hide. And that's where he died, right there. You got some graves that have been taken over by these vines and trees right here. You don't even know whose graves those are. Looks like they're just hidden forever from the world. This crypt has been totally destroyed. I'm not sure if somebody came here and bashed it in with a sledgehammer or what. Something like that. If I owned a cemetery, I would not want it to be seen in that condition. I would definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, get somebody to come out here and fix that. That is trifling right there. George Rideau Sr., June 16, 1934 to September 29, 1977. He was 43 years of age. He suffered a heart attack. And for a living, he was a shoe repairman. Kind of a shame about the conditions of this place, because it looks like, obviously, this guy is not making a whole lot of money. Now, I don't know his background, but I'm assuming that this was a cemetery that more than likely his grandparents owned or something like that, and it kept getting passed down from generation to generation. That's just really a wild guess about this place. But it's too bad that they didn't design it just a little bit better, because if they did, then they could have set out a space where they could have built like a mausoleum. Now, they still could, because you have this space right here, so you could build several nooks for cremains to store. So this place has you know, a lot of it has a lot of opportunity for whoever owns it to not only make some money for himself and for his family, but you know, clean this place up, make it look a little bit more respectful. You got that bank of trees right there. I don't know if he owns the property or not, but this place could easily be turned around just by simply building a mausoleum. And I know those mausoleums are very, very expensive. But maybe this is why, you know, you take care of your credit. That way, when you want to expand, you can do that. Now, you got those trees all right there. All those can be cut down and made into a mausoleum, or you can build, you know, there's little patches of land out here where, you know, you could remove that tree right there and put something over there so you can make some money. Because a lot of times cemeteries, the only way they make money, guys, got to remember, you know, a lot of cemeteries, the only way you're making money is off of new burials. And once you run out of room, like this cemetery looks like it is running out of room somewhat, this is what happens.
As for the homicide from this morning, police need your help to crack this case. They're looking for these two men. They believe they know what happened. This is Deshaun Manuel, also known as Deshaun Matthews, and Joseph Matthews. So here's what we know about this shooting. It happened around 2:45 this morning on Glass House Street. 25-year-old Jacoby Jackson was found dead in the road from an apparent gunshot wound. A 20-year-old man was taken to the hospital with a gunshot wound as well, but police say that does not appear to be life-threatening. Police say witnesses are not cooperating. No arrests have been made, so be sure to stick with 12 News for the latest on both these cases. We're going to update you online and on air.
Currently, both guys are still in the Jefferson County Jail in lieu of $1 million bond. And as you heard in the video, people are not cooperating. And that might be the reason why they haven't gone to trial quite yet. So they're just going to languish in jail, and eventually a trial, I'm imagining, will take place soon enough. I mean, it's already been 2.5 years. Herbert Bendy III, September 7th, 1973 to July 4th, 2021. This guy right here was shot and killed at a car wash here in Beaumont. A man was arrested for his murder. At the time, he was 36, Bryant Keith Thomas. And I'm not sure if the case has gone to trial yet. Originally, when that guy was arrested for his murder, he was booked on a $1 million bond, but a judge lowered it to $100,000 and he bonded out. So that guy's out right now. So this is probably going to be a while before it goes to trial. I looked him up in the Texas Department of Corrections and I didn't find his name. So presumably the trial has not taken place yet. And I don't know what the argument was about. But I'm fairly certain that it wasn't that important for this man to be dead. That's for sure. Okay guys, I am hitting the road. I am out of here. Hopefully the owner of this cemetery gets some kind of loan or some funding or whatever. Maybe if you're watching this video, a little bit of advice. If you get yourself a mausoleum, that would really like I said, help you out financially and give you extra money to clean the cemetery up. Live but not live, still alive by the grace of God. I'm Lamont at Large. I will catch up with you on the next video. I hope to see you there. Have a good day, guys. God bless. Peace out.